Hello everybody, welcome to Jim's Record Party. I'm your host James. Thank you for joining us again today as we'll be looking at records by the great American pianist Keith Jarrett. Beginning with his first solo outing, the great ECM recording produced by Manfred Eicher, Facing You. Collection of 8 shorter tunes, unusually improvised, acoustic piano, beautifully recorded, mostly an inward turning session. Though it's called Facing You, it might have been recorded looking into a mirror. These are introspective tunes, notwithstanding beautiful, joyous playing. This is not a sad record. This is not a maudlin record at all. This is a beautiful record, 8 tunes, some a little longer, 10-ish minutes or so, and some quite short. All beautiful, bringing most of Keith's talents to bear. His great improvisation skills, his great sense of melodic improvisation and harmonic rhythmic support. Strongly recommended, ladies and gentlemen. This is an excellent introduction to the phenomenal playing and musical mind and soul of Keith Jarrett. Number 2, the live outing for Yawuh by the so-called American Quartet, featuring Dewey Redman on tenor, the great Charlie Hayden, brought over from the Ornette Coleman Band on bass, and from the classic Bill Evans trio with Scott LaFaro, Paul Mossian on drums. This is a live outing at the Village Vanguard in 1973, their first recording for the great Impulse jazz label, and it couldn't have been more successful for everyone, and especially rewarding for us, the listener, to be rewarded with the opportunity to hear this group. I believe Danny Johnson, the percussionist, also appears on this album. Again, everything this quartet can do, from great soaring melodic improvisation with the most sensitive, subtle rhythmic underpinnings to driving, forceful late 20th century American jazz. Outstanding playing from everybody here. This is no more hard to listen to than a pristine studio outing might be. Some live albums can be a little disjointed and even dispirited sometimes. This is not, from beginning to end. When the needle drops on this record, you are in the Village Vanguard. You are enjoying a adult beverage, perhaps, and listening to one of the great American jazz quartets of the late 20th century. Number 3 brings us to the so-called European Quartet, with Jan Gabrick on tenor, Palle Danielson on acoustic bass, and Jan Christensen on drums. This is a completely different band and a completely different recording. This on ECM, recorded and produced again by the great Manfred Eicher. This is an outstanding introduction to this quartet, their first outing, Belonging. A joyous album, and this is pristinely recorded in the studio. The balloons floating on the water or in the sky on this cover are a very good representation of the music that's featured here. 4 masterful musicians playing together very forceful playing at times from Jan Gabrick on tenor. He brings a completely different soulful melodicism and rhythmic force to the table than does Dewey Redman, each outstandingly beautiful players in their own way. This is the introduction to this quartet. Again, highly recommended, ladies and gentlemen. Belonging by the so-called Keith Jarrett European Quartet. Brings us to our fourth and final album today, another live recording, another solo piano recording by Keith. This one recorded in Koln, Germany in 1975, the Koln Concert. This a pairing at the time, a bookend at the time for the great triple disc set on ECM, the Bremen-Lausanne concerts. The Koln Concert is a concert, as the title suggests. This is basically one long piece with a bit of an encore at the end. Lovely, lovely playing here. Expressive. It's jazzy. There are classical influences, folk influences, almost children's tunes at times, in the best possible way. One of the great musical minds of the 20th century, Keith Jarrett, one of the members of the triumvirate of great late 20th century American jazz pianists with Chick Corea and Herbie Hancock. Keith Jarrett, the Koln Concert, very listenable, very approachable at any time, in any mood. Very beautifully recorded, a joy to listen to. Well, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us again here today on Jim's Record Party. I'm your host, James. It's been so nice to have you with us as we've looked at just 4 albums of the great American pianist Keith Jarrett. Please join us again next time on this same station. Please comment, like, and subscribe. And join us as we look at more great, rare, beautiful music on record here on Jim's Record Party.